यं शैवा समुपासते शिव इति ब्रह्मेति वेदान्तिनो यं शैवा समुपासते शिव इति ब्रह्मेति वेदान्तिनो बौद्धा बुद्ध इति प्रमाणपटवः करतेति नैयायिका बौद्धा बुद्ध इति प्रमाणपटवः करतेति नैयायिका अर्हन्नित्यथ जैन शासनरता कर्मेति मीमांसकाः अर्हन्नित्यथ जैन शासनरता कर्मेति मीमांसकाः सोऽयं नो विदधातु वाञ्छितफलं त्रैलोक्यनाथो हरिः सोऽयं नो विदधातु वाञ्छितफलं त्रैलोक्यनाथो हरिः त्रयीसाङ्ख्यं योगः पशुपतिमतं वैष्णवमिति त्रयीसाङ्ख्यं योगः पशुपतिमतं वैष्णवमिति प्रभिन्ने प्रस्थाने परमिदमदः पथ्यमिति च प्रभिन्ने प्रस्थाने परमिदमदः पथ्यमिति च रुचीनां वैचित्र्यात् ऋजुकुटिलनानापथजुषाम् रुचीनां वैचित्र्यात् ऋजुकुटिलनानापथजुषाम् नृणामेको गम्यः त्वमसि पयसा मर्णव इव नृणामेको गम्यः त्वमसि पयसाम् अर्णव इव। जय सच्चिदानंद। सौभाग्य का विषय है कि कल अंतर्राष्ट्रीय दर्शन सम्मेलन समाप्त हुआ 2018 वर्ष का प्रथम, और आज भारतीय दर्शन सम्मेलन का शुभारंभ उद्घाटन विधि आरंभ हो रही है। मुझे जैसा आदेश हुआ है ठीक 10 बजे हम आरंभ करेंगे, और बाहर जितने भी हमारे प्रतिनिधि हैं, ऑल डेलीगेट्स एंड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स एंड स्टूडेंट्स एंड स्कॉलर्स एंड philosophers, they should assemble in the hall. Please be seated. In few minutes we are starting this inauguration session. Thank you. 92nd session of the Indian Philosophical Congress. It is organized by Holistic Way of Life, and the subject of this conference is Holistic Way of Life and Living. So when our president is on the way, वो अभी पहुंच जाते हैं, हम इसकी कार्यवाही आरंभ करते हैं उद्घाटन सत्र की। सबसे पहले प्रार्थना के लिए मैं हमारे इस पूज्य दादा भगवान के जो अक्रम मार्ग के आप्त लोग हैं और अनुयायी हैं, उनमें से कुछ लोगों को मैं आपके सामने प्रेयर के लिए बुला रहा हूँ। शिल्पा बेन, हीना बेन, गीता बेन, इला बेन અને સોહની બેન આવી અને ત્રિમંત્ર પ્રાર્થના, they will present ત્રિમંત્ર prayer.
નમો અરિહંતાણં उपकारो सव पावपणासनो मंगलाणं च संवेसिं पद्ममहावै मंगलम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय जय सच्चिदानंद जय सच्चिदानंद जय सच्चिदानंद।
सब जानते हैं कि वसुधैव कुटुंबकम हम बार बार सुनते हैं, या यत्र विश्वम भवत्येक नीडम, ये हमारा प्राचीन सनातन संदेश जो सिद्धांत रूप में हम सुनते हैं। यहाँ पिछले 3 दिनों से हम देख रहे हैं, साथ में खा पी रहे हैं, इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं, पूरा विश्व इकट्ठा हुआ, एशिया द्वीप के लोग और भारत के। तो ये वसुधैव कुटुंबकम प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण है हमारे लिए। ये सौभाग्य है दादाजी की कृपा का। हरीश भाई।
Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day. Sun is shining on us. If sun decides not to shine, what would happen to us? Every day is a different day, and today we have great dignitaries in front of us. Professor S.R. Bhatt, Chairman ICPR, we welcome you. Shri Dipsri Rathod, MP, we welcome you. Professor K.M. Tiwari, President of this session. Professor Ram Rao Papu, keynote speaker. Professor of Philosophy. And very dear to me, for years together, the founder trustee of VVCRF, Vasant Bhai Patel. Professor Paneer Selvam, General Secretary of IPC. Me on behalf of everybody, I welcome you all to start the session.
And now for the lighting of the lamp, I invite all our distinguished guests. दीपक ज्योति नमोस्तुते। इस सत्र के दीप ज्योति के लिए मैं सभी आदरणीय माननीय अतिथियों को आमंत्रित करता हूं। दीप ज्योति परब्रह्म दीप ज्योति जनार्दन दीप ज्योति परम पुण्यम पापम हरतु मे निशम। ओम चंद्रमा मनसो जातः सूर्यो अजायत चक्षुः सूर्यो अजायत श्रोत्राद्वायुश्च प्राणश्च मुखादग्निरजायत। And now, for the felicitation of our guest, I invite Vasant Bhai. Atithi Devo Bhava. Sarvepi atithayah tesham swagatam. Tadartham aham Vasant Bhai Mahodayam amantrayami. Vasant Bhai. Sarvaprathamam asmakam पूज्याः आदरणीयाः दर्शनशास्त्र निष्णाताः आचार्याः प्रोफेसर एस.आर. भट्ट महाभागाः तेषां स्वागतं पुष्पगुच्छेन वसंत भाई, आप स्वागत भट्ट साहब का गीत। अस्माकम् आचार्याः प्रोफेसर रामाराव पप्पू महाभागाः अत्र विराजन्ते। गतरात्रौ तै स्वीयं जीवनवृत्तं जीवनकथा श्राविता अस्मान् रात्रौ, अतीव मनोहारिणी कथा। उनके अपने जीवन के बारे में कल रात को हमको उन्होंने बताया। अद्भुत जीवन है उनका, प्रोफेसर रामाराव पप्पू महाभागा। और हमारे सांसद है श्री दीप सिंह राठौड़, श्री दीप सिंह राठौड़ मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, सांसद गुजरातना धारा सांसद महोदय, धन्यवाद। और आगे जी, तिवारी जी हमारे आज के अध्यक्ष हैं इस सत्र के, प्रोफेसर के.एन. तिवारी जी। इज फॉर्मर हेड डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिलोसॉफी, भागलपुर यूनिवर्सिटी, बिहार। बिहार राज्यम तो अतीव प्रसिद्धम। और सेल्वम महाभागा, पन्नीर सेल्वम महोदयाः, हमारे विद्वान दर्शन के और इस सम्मेलन के लिए बहुत जिन्होंने सहयोग दिया है। और अब मैं फॉर द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द थीम ऑफ दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस आई इनवाइट प्रोफेसर एस.आर. भट्ट, प्लीज सर। आदरणीयाः कनुदादा महाभागा अत्र सम्प्राप्ताः वर्तन्ते। तेषां हार्दं स्वागतं करतलध्वनिना सर्वैः। We give a great applause for in respect of Dada Kanu Dada. Yeah. दादा हूँ प्रणाम करूँ। जय सच्चिदानंद। दादा पोथा पढ़ी पढ़ी जगमुआ, पंडित भया न कोई, ढाई अखर प्रेम का। दादा पूछते प्रणामम प्रणामः। व्याकरण तो अपनी जगह है और भाव अपनी जगह है। For the introduction of the theme of this conference, Professor S.R. Bhatt. Great applause, please.
His Divine Holiness Pujya Sri Kanu Dadaji, Sri Rathod, Member of Parliament, Professor Ramarao Pappu, Professor K.N. Tiwari, General President of this 92nd session of Indian Philosophical Congress, Sri Vasant Bhai, the founder, trustee, and our guiding spirit of this organization and also of this conference, Sri Pannir Selvam-ji, who is in fact the whole in charge of this entire session as General Secretary of IPC, distinguished delegates from India and abroad, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege and pleasure to say a few words about Indian Philosophical Congress and the theme of this particular session, 92nd session of Indian Philosophical Congress. Indian Philosophical Congress was established by Rabindranath Tagore and Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan 92 years before, and with an exception of 1 year during Indo-Chinese confrontation, well, we had regular meeting of IPC. So it's a very old and prestigious organization of philosophy. When we say philosophy, we have an inclusive understanding of the nature of philosophy. Philosophy is a foundational discipline. Pradipah sarva vidyanam. This is the saying which goes. And therefore, in philosophy, we not only talk of theories of knowledge, theories of reality, theories of values, but we also take into account the applied dimension of philosophy in terms of philosophy of society, social philosophy, philosophy of political governance, political thought, philosophy of economic governance, economic thought, philosophy of science, philosophy of art, and so forth. Well, philosophy of means philosophy of anything which falls within the discipline of knowledge. And therefore, philosophy is of great importance, both theoretically as well as in practice. Philosophy is not mere speculation. It is a systematic reflection upon our lived experiences with a view to be profited therefrom. So, it is the experience which is the starting point of philosophy. We human beings, who are the highest evolved so far in the cosmic process of evolution, have the ability not only to undergo experiences, but also to reflect upon those experiences, so that we may know what we were, what we are, and what we ought to be. Philosophy, therefore, takes into account a life tradition. A life tradition is that which is deeply rooted in the past, firmly footed in the present, and has a glorious vision of the future. And therefore, we say ours is a Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means it had relevance in the past, it has relevance in the future, and it has relevance in the present as well. But then, we have to see to it that our philosophy or our philosophizing is really relevant. It should not be merely parroting the past or aping an alien mode of thinking and living. It must be socially useful. It must provide guidelines for individual transformation, social transformation, and cosmic transformation. Then only philosophizing can be relevant. I generally emphasize that we must make a distinction between history of philosophy and philosophizing. History of philosophy is not philosophizing. History of philosophy is only a tool to help us to philosophize. But philosophizing should be on our concrete experiences, such experiences which stir our mind and make us to think as to what they are and how best we can make use of those experiences. Therefore, in every philosophizing, there has to be innovation, There has to be novelty. There has to be fresh approaches to thought and life. Thought and life are intertwined. They go together. You think and therefore you act. Action without adequate thought or knowledge may lead us astray, may deviate us from right path. And therefore, thinking is very much important. Thinking means viveka, ratiocinative understanding of our experiences within, our experiences without, and our experiences beyond. The Rishi of Yajurveda therefore says, Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. Or the Rishi of the Rigveda says in the Gayatri Mantra, Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. We should have pious mind and enlightened intellect. Then only we can have proper mode of thinking. Thinking we have to. We are thinking beings. We are not inanimate. And we also, nature has bestowed us a unique capacity to not only undergo experiences, but to heighten our experiences, to broaden our experiences, to deepen our experiences. And this ability is innate in us. We must exercise this ability. Of course, we are limited at present in our thinking capacity. There is cognitive limitations. But gradually we are overcoming that limitation. And we have the capacity to know our limitations and also to transcend our limitations. This is a unique capacity nature has bestowed on us. And therefore, it is our responsibility that we heighten our capacity to think, to reason, to discriminate. And if we have proper thinking, definitely it will affect our volitional aspect, pursuit of good, avoidance of evil, and all-round development of our personality. This is the second part of living. All-round development of our personality, the physical, the vital, the emotional, the intellectual, and the spiritual. For this, of course, we require sadhana. A question was asked yesterday. Just for 2 days we had Asian Philosophic Congress, and we had very not only illuminating but also stimulating deliberations. And a question was asked by, in fact, Professor Ramarao Pappu as to how can there be holistic living. A holistic living is that wherein we have fullest efflorescence of our inherent potentialities, both of the living beings and also inanimate things. Prakriti is Vasudha. By literally, Vasudha means which is full of splendor. But that splendor is to be brought forth. Therefore, we must have transformation of Prakriti. At present, unfortunately, under the sway of scientism, we are trying to exploit Prakriti. And the result is environmental pollution. Prakriti is to be made use of judiciously. Prakriti is there to help us. Nature is there to, nature nurtures us. But we should help nature to nurture us. And therefore, we have to augment natural resources for cosmic well-being. Well, this is the holistic way of living, to worship nature. When the Indian culture tells us that you worship mountains, you worship rivers, you worship lion or tiger, you worship snake, well, it is not animism, as Westerners have unfortunately misunderstood us. It's a approach to nature with a worshipful attitude, with a thankful attitude. We have to thank nature because nature has nurtured us. We are part and parcel of the nature. Our entire physical living is in nature, by nature, and therefore we have to live for nature. So, this is the message of Indian culture to the present day world, which is trying to exploit and disturb and destroy nature. Nature is bountiful, Vasudha. Nature can give us immense benefits, provided we make nature to help us in this way. And therefore, our ecology, ours is really deep ecology. The Western understanding of ecology is not deep. Though they use the word deep, wrongly they are using the word deep. Deep means we have to see to it that our minds be pure, our intellect be shining, and we should be working for the welfare of the whole cosmos. This is the real deep ecology. I would like to tell the teachers of philosophy who are teaching courses in ecology not to be blindly imitating the Western analysis of ecology. We have our own understanding of ecology, which is Indian understanding of ecology, really deep ecology, wherein we talk of not only the purity of the body, purity of the vital breath, we also talk of purity of the mind, purity of the intellect, and purity of the soul. This is real deep ecology which we have to put forth before the world. And this is the message of Indian culture for the whole humanity, that we have to do that. So, when we say a holistic way of living, it means having a healthy body and a healthy organs. Vedic rishis always aspire that we should have strong body, we should have sense organs properly functioning, and for that we should have nourishing food, we should have nourishing milk, and milk of cow is really nourishing. We worship cow, not for sake of just worshipping. We worship cow as Go Mata, as mother. Because cows, every part of cow's organ is useful. Milk, skin, horns, everything which is a part and parcel of the organism of a cow is helpful. Nothing is of non-use. And most nourishing milk is that of cow only. Therefore, if we worship cow, it's not for nothing. Because of the inherent worth which cow is instrumental to us, but we should also be instrumental to cow. We should worship cow means we should nourish cow, give healthy food to cow, and so forth. We should serve cow just as we serve our mother. Well, this is the Indian mode of living. Likewise, we have to take care of our vital breaths. Of course, yoga is there, pranayama is there, asana is there. But then most important is the oxygen that we inhale. There should not be depletion of oxygen and spread of carbon and other gases which are harmful. Well, this is again a healthy, holistic mode of living. And then we, of course, are human beings with all limitations, and therefore we talk of 6 evils, Shadripus, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Madha, Moha, Matsarya, etc. We have to try to see to it that we get rid of all these vices and evils and cultivate virtues. Virtues both the empirical and the trans-empirical, the preyas and the shreyas. This is, in fact, the holistic way of living. No lopsidedness, no mere material progress without spiritual enhancement. At present, unfortunately, we are only looking for the material advancement and we don't care. So there is no harmony between the material and the spiritual. As I said the other day also, Indian culture does not deny matter. We worship matter. We say, Anno vai Brahma. Anna is the Brahma, is the ultimate reality for us. Of course, Arthamim is a part of the ultimate reality, but it is ultimate reality. Therefore, we value matter, but we don't go for materialism, consumerism, or exploitation of natural resources for vicious purposes. Atomic energy is there. We have to make peaceful use of it, not for warfare. But unfortunately, we are indulging in that. And we have two, I would say, minds at present, one in America and one in North Korea. I think they don't have righteous mind, pious mind, and therefore they indulge in mutual sort of conflict. I had been to both the countries several times. I have seen the material prosperity of America, but also many ills and evils besetting that country. I had been to North Korea several times. I have seen how people are living in abject poverty there. Everyone is not allowed to go there. There are several restrictions, but and everyone is not to go to every part of North Korea. Fortunately, I had an occasion to visit interiors also. I have seen how people are there in abject poverty. Anyway, I don't want to dwell into that. But the point is that we have, in a holistic living, care for Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. And it's not difficult to do that. In our culture, we have several examples of such rishis and munis and sants who have led a holistic mode of living. This morning I was also pointing out to some such instances to Professor Ramarao Pappu as to how, of course it is difficult, but not impossible. It requires sadhana. And we do have such sadhakas. We have such in plenty of number. We may not know them about them, but we do have them. And they should be our examples. They should be the ideals before us. Today we had this prayer, Namo Hari Hantaranam, etc. Well, these are the sadhus and others who are worshipable, not just offering flowers or things like that, but to be imitated. We should follow their examples. And if we follow their examples, that is the holistic way of living. I don't want to go into details, and it's time for me to wind up. But on behalf of Indian Council of Philosophical Research, on behalf of Indian Philosophical Congress, and also on behalf of this prestigious institution, of which also I have been fortunately a founder member, I welcome all of you. I hope that we shall have very fruitful deliberations, and this deliberation should be revealing, enlightening, stimulating, and helping us in a holistic mode of thinking and also holistic way of living, so that our deliberations do not remain confined to the fold of this hall, should spread all around. Vedic Rishi says that we should make each and every one an Arya. Arya means a cultured person, a noble person. Well, this should be our ideal, that whatever deliberations we undertake should not remain confined to ourselves, should spread out, should disseminate, and make the whole world worthy of living. We say that Janni Janmabhumischa Sarvadapi Gariyas. We should make this earth better than heaven. And we can do so if and only if we have holistic mode of thinking and holistic way of living. And humanly, it is possible. Vedic Rishis again said, Manur Bhava, Janiya Devyam Janam. Be a person. We are not so far a person, we are only human beings. We are Manava, but we are not Purusha. We have Purusha is a technical term. On some other occasion, I shall elaborate upon the depth of the and implicate meanings of this term Purusha. Well, we have to be Purusha. And for that, we have to undertake Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And if we do that, and we should not only do for ourselves, but for the whole cosmos. Generally, we say, therefore, we have this Shanti part is there. Or Shanti part is a holistic. We talk of Dev Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Antarik Shanti, here Shanti, there Shanti, Sarvagam Shanti. Well, this is holistic approach. And we further say that we believe in the peace, prosperity of the whole cosmos. Not only human beings, but the whole cosmos. Ours is cosmocentric approach. That is again a holistic approach. Well, this has been the keynote of Indian culture. And I hope that we not only ponder over it, but we disseminate this world over. And I think your center is capable of spreading Indian message all over the globe. And therefore, we should have centers everywhere where this message of Dada Bhagwan. Dada Bhagwan's message is holistic. This is the caption which we have borrowed from the messages of Dada Bhagwan. And we pay our respectful homage to Dada Bhagwan for bringing to us the crux of Indian culture. He is a harbinger of Indian culture in modern times. And therefore, his message should be spread all over so that Bhavatu Vishwa Aryam, let whole world be turned into noble and peaceful arena of existence. So that, as I said the other day, we should follow the guiding principles. 3 guiding principles of holistic living is Sahavasa, Sahakara, and Sahabhoga. Let us pursue this, and I hope our deliberations of this 92nd session of Indian Philosophical Congress will be useful for the whole humanity. Indian culture is pretty old, but it is something which is worth emulating. So the seer of Yajurved says, Sa Pratma Saskruti Vishwavara. Let it be really Vishwavara, really benefit the whole world. And with this, I once again thank all of you for your gracious presence, dignitaries on the dais and in the hall. And I wish on behalf of Indian Philosophical Congress a very happy, comfortable stay. We had 2 days of deliberation of Asian Philosophical Congress, which were really of a very high order, and I hope that deliberations of IPC will be of equally high order. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor S.R. Bhatt. Sir, first time I have come here with my wife Shalini ji. And since last 4 days, we are watching constantly that Mr. Bhatt, Professor Bhatt with Mrs. Bhatt, she is here. He is working and giving motivation more than a young person of 25, 30 years old. Sir, you are 80 plus. and we see the reflection of Dadaji in you. So this is 92nd session, and if every year we are organizing one conference, then 2025 we will be having the century of this conference, 100th session, and we want Jivemah Sharadah Shatam, Pashyemah Sharadah Shatam. You will be there, sir, to motivate and to inspire us. We all wish for your long and healthy life. So nice of you, sir. And now, for the release of the abstracts of IPC, I invite our Honorable MP, Shri Deepsinh Bhai Rathod. આ પુસ્તિકામાં ભારતીય દાર્શનિક સંમેલનના જે શોધપત્રો અનુસંધાન પત્રો છે એમનો ભાવ છપાયેલો છે, આપ સૌને મળશે. એના લોકાર્પણ વિધિ માટે હું આદરણીય સાંસદ શ્રી દીપસિંહ રાઠોડ સાહેબને આમંત્રિત કરું છું. શ્રી દીપસિંહભાઈ રાઠોડ. અને આની લોકાર્પિત પહેલી પ્રતિ શ્રી વસંતભાઈ પૂજ્ય દાદા કનુદાદાને અર્પિત કરશે. આવો વસંતભાઈ. इसकी तैयारी के लिए श्री LD पटेल महीनों से लगे हुए हैं, और तब उनसे बात हुई थी कि पूरे भारत से जो हमारा एशिया कॉन्फ्रेंस, एशिया फिलोसॉफी कॉन्फ्रेंस, उसके लिए तो थे ही थे, भारत के अनेक भागों से इस इंडियन फिलोसॉफी कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए शोध पत्र आए हुए हैं. करीब 300 पेपर्स आर देयर. सो अब 3 दिन इन शोध पत्रों का वाचन प्रेजेंटेशन होगा. इसकी पहली प्रति पूज्य दादाजी को अर्पित की है. हाँ, धन्यवाद. और अब मैं माननीय सांसद श्री દીપસિંહ રાઠોડ સાહેબને આમંત્રિત કરું છું કે તેઓ આવી અને પોતાના હાર્દિક ભાવો यहाँ પ્રગટ કરશે. શ્રી દીપસિંહ રાઠોડ.
आदरणीय SR भट्ट साहब, चेयरमैन IPC, प्रोफेसर सिंह एवं प्रोफेसर गंगाधर, वाइस चेयरमैन श्री, आज के समारोह के प्रमुख श्री KN तिवारी जी, समारोह के उद्घाटक विश्वविख्यात विद्वान प्रोफेसर श्री रामाराव पप्पू जी, जनरल सेक्रेटरी श्री पन्नीर सेल्वम जी, जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी श्री प्रोफेसर श्री कला नायर जी, और ट्रेजर प्रोफेसर दीपिका सदा जी, एवं इंडियन फिलोसॉफिकल कांग्रेस के 52वें अधिवेशन में पधारे हुए सभी विद्वान प्रोफेसर एवं विद्यार्थीगण को गुजरात की जनता की ओर से मेरा अभिवादन है. खूब खूब आपके आग्रह भरे मेरे गुजरात के आपके अभिवादन करता हूँ. इस समारोह के बारे में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, मंत्रालय की ओर से और मेरी अपनी ओर से मैं आप सबको गुजरात में यह अधिवेशन आयोजित करने के लिए धन्यवाद देता हूँ. यह समारोह के आयोजक होलिस्टिक साइंस रिसर्च सेंटर प्रमुख श्री वसंत भाई पटेल, प्रमुख ट्रस्टी श्री हरीश भाई शुक्ला जी, लाला भाई और मधुकर भाई, सेक्रेटरी श्री गुणवंत भाई को मेरा खूब खूब धन्यवाद और शुभकामना. यह समारोह के और सेंटर के मूलभूत प्रणेता परम पूज्य कनु दादाजी को मेरा सादर प्रणाम, और आप सबको भी मेरा सादर प्रणाम. आप सब गुजरात से और भारत में पधारे के लिए हम खूब खूब आपकी धन्यवाद करता हूँ और प्रणाम भी करके मेरे विराम करता हूँ.
धन्यवाद ऑनरेबल MP साहब श्री दीपसिंह राठौड़. Now I pray and request our honorable Dada Shri Kanubhai to felicitate श्री MP दीपसिंह राठौड़. सांसद श्री दीपसिंह राठौड़ साहब ने દાદા પોતાના કરકમલોથી સન્માનિત કરશે. દાદા પ્લીઝ શોલ અને મેમેન્ટો, શોલ અને સ્મૃતિચિહ્નથી દાદા સાંસદ મહોદયનું સન્માન કરી રહ્યા છે. દીપસિંહભાઈ રાઠોડ, ભાઈ આપનું દાયિત્વ હવે વધી જાય છે. આપ રાજકારણમાં છો, સાંસદ છો, ભારત અને સુરતનું રિપ્રેઝન્ટેશન તમે કરશો સંસદમાં, પરંતુ આ હોલિસ્ટિક એપ્રોચ માટે કે ગુજરાત અને દાદાની આ દર્શનશાસ્ત્ર વધારેમાં વધારે ગ્લોબલ બને, યુનિવર્સલ બને, એના માટે આપના પ્રયાસો અને આપનો સહયોગ સહકાર અમને મળશે. ધન્યવાદ ભાઈ. અને હવે આપણે પૂજ્ય દાદાને સાંભળશું. નાઉ વી વિલ લિસન ધ બ્લેસિંગ્સ ઓફ ઓનરેબલ કનુ દાદા. દાદા હા, દાદા હું એક વાત કહેવા માંગુ છું, આપની અનુમતિ હોય તો બોલું. In Gujarati we say Kanu and then we say Kanji. Kanji Bhai, Kanu Bhai, Kanayyo, and this sound, this word is derived from Krishna, Mahayogeshwar Krishna. So the Kanu Dada is Krishna. Dada, but I am Baldev, your elder brother.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Dada. Please.
Jai Satchidanand to all enlightened gathering here under the aegis of Dada Bhagwan's universal divine vision in a frail body of A.M. Patel, that we are here in this occasion. I am delighted to listen from Bhatt Sahib that this has been established by very higher thinking souls, Rabindranath Tagore and Dr. Radhakrishnan. Yes. All the blessings, my heart goes out to all of you on the venue of this wonderful conference of universal human science for the world citizenry through the medium of Bharat, that is India, and all the blessings for these deliberations that are going to take place right from today. I am with all of you every way, mind-wise, my expression-wise, and my living-wise. All my life, till the last breath, though it is transitory, we can be with all of us living-wise and understanding the philosophical aspects of our lives to live for one and all. So all my blessings, and I hope Bhatt Sahib and all of our highly elevated personalities being together to share our thinking powers, ideas, views, and to merge in each other, to experience unilaterality of our living. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Dada. The same prayer we do, Dada, for you, Jive Ma Sharada Shatam, in 100th conference. We pray, Dada, in this physical form, you will be with us. We pray for that. Here, in this hall, we have many senior-most scholars, like Vasant Bhai, he is 80 plus, 82. And Dr. Ramarao Papuji, 80 plus. Then Professor Bhatt is already there. Janak Bhai Dave, Professor Janak Bhai Dave. And then the other person, Amin Sahab. Amin Sahab ke liye taali bajayenge. Amin Sahab is there, he is 80 plus. So, or other scholars also. So we all wish, Dada, 2025 માં અમે બધાએ આપને આવી રીતે, and we all together, we will be again assembled here even in 100th. We wish that. आशा, आशावाद भारतीय संस्कृति का अभिन्न अंग है.